Welcome back. The end of load shedding is finally within reach. These were the words of President Ramaphosa during the State of the Nation address last week. Hot on the heels of the address, the country has plunged back into stage 6 load shedding. This as elections loom. Mark Swilling from the Center of Sustainability Transitions at Stellenbosch University weighs in and gives us analysis on the return of these rolling blackouts. Mark, thank you for your time and good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Well, Mark, I'm not sure what to make of it. One day we were having a conversation about, or we're being told rather, that the situation was under control and that the end was nigh. But now we find ourselves in stage, I think it was stage 6, we're in stage 5 and now. What do we make of this?
Well, there's a bigger picture and there's specific details of the current context. The bigger picture is that we have a very old fleet of coal-fired power stations. The average age is 42 years old. Many of them should have been, quite a few of them should have been closed down by now. In terms of the RP 2019, quite a number were supposed to get closed down, but that has changed with the new RP 2023, which is much more optimistic about the possibility of keeping them going for much longer than they were designed to survive. At the same time, they've been badly maintained over a long period of time. So as a result, what we have is an over-optimistic view that it is possible to repair these machines and bring them back to their former glory. And so what we are experiencing, therefore, is a continuous set of disappointments, that we're just not getting to the energy availability, a factor that at a policy level, there's a desire to achieve. So that's the bigger picture. In terms of the specific details, the Eskom and the Minister of Electricity have taken what they call a calculated gamble, which is to increase the number of machines that are under planned maintenance. In other words, calculated withdrawal of those machines in order to properly fix them up and maintain them, to increase the number to about 7,000 megawatts. But the danger of that is if you have unplanned breakages, you don't have any reserve margin to kind of prevent load shedding going to stage 6. And it was a calculated risk, which unfortunately did come to be. In other words, from last week around Wednesday, 4,400 megawatts of generation in 9 different units collapsed. That plus the 7,000 on planned maintenance has resulted in us getting to stage 6.
And so, Prof, just to be clear at this point, because I think it has been thrown about, there's been no sabotage, no evidence of sabotage at this point.
I don't think anyone can say there's no sabotage. We know that Eskom continues to be riddled with the remnants, or maybe more than remnants, of state capture forces that basically organized criminal gangs who have proven through a number of court cases and many different investigations to exist. There's no reason to believe that they've disappeared. Exactly what their strategy is, nobody really knows. So I don't think one can eliminate some form of sabotage, but nobody is claiming at the leadership level that is the reason why we've hit stage 6.
Another thing that the Electricity Minister Ramaphosa has come out to say, Mark, is that the contribution from renewable energy sources was lower than forecast due to longer than expected hours of cloud cover. Help us make sense of this. This is the nature of renewables, and this is what we're relying on in terms of our future. So are we maybe lacking some storage capacity here that could then make up for the kinds of weather that we have seen lately?
Well, I mean, some of the data that I've seen doesn't quite confirm what the minister said. That the big drop was in coal. In fact, it looks to me like there was an increase in wind from Eskom's own data. But yes, from a cloud cover point of view affecting solar PV, That's always something that you can't always predict, and it might result in lower than expected output from the solar PV plants. But that does. But I think it's unfortunate to bring that in as a factor because by definition, wind and solar is variable, and it does need to be connected to gas or a battery storage over the longer run, and that is starting to emerge. There's more and more batteries coming online, more and more gas coming online.
I must also ask you, Mark, about just the information as it presents itself. The president would say one thing, and then, of course, something else would happen at Eskom, and maybe something else would happen, from the energy minister, or the electricity minister, to be more accurate. And I'm just keen to get your thoughts on this, about the kind of information overload that could be confusing for business as well as, ordinary South African citizens, that we keep getting these updates. But the truth is the lights don't stay on, and that's what people really want to see. And do we have then an effective communication strategy around, this energy issue right now?
Well, this goes back to the bigger picture that I started off talking about, which is we have a fleet of old coal-fired power stations, and they are, by definition, unreliable. Nobody can really wake up tomorrow morning in Eskom and put their hand on their heart and predict with certainty what's going to happen over the next 24 to 48 hours, because these machines are fickle, unreliable. They can, the smallest thing can go wrong and can bring them down. And that's the inherent nature of our power system at the moment. No matter how much money you throw at this to kind of fix it, ultimately you must close old coal-fired power stations and replace them with new technologies, in particular wind and solar. That's our best bet, backed up with batteries and gas. That's our best bet in the longer run. So what you are pointing out is obviously the president and the minister want to present a rosy picture going forward in light of elections, saying ending load shedding is becoming more of a possibility. Obviously, they don't have to say that, but the underlying reality cannot be denied, which is high levels of uncertainty. The only certainty in our electricity system is uncertainty, and so it's a very challenging job that the Minister of Electricity has, which is to kind of balance this. And he's quite honest in his presentation about the gamble and the risks that they've taken to increase plant maintenance, which in turn risks stage 6 when you have the breakdown of 9 machines taking out 4,400 megawatts.
Well, Prof, it's been a very good to hear from you today, and also very sobering, I think, certainly helping us understand where we are in reality. That was Mark Swilling from the Center of Sustainability Transitions at Stellenbosch University.